Hey YouTube, the markets are in turmoil right now. The S&P 500, the Nasdaq, the Dow, they're all down double digits. Let's take a look. The Dow is down nearly 25%. The Nasdaq is down nearly 20%. And the S&P 500 is down about 16+%. Our portfolio on etoro has done better than the indices, and we are currently beating the market, but we are also significantly down for the year. Let's get into the March 2020 update for Project Buffett 2.0. So let's take a look at the portfolio and let's look at the statistics of the portfolio so far. So the portfolio is down nearly or more than 12% year to date. So far in March, we're down about 7.63% after a bad February as well. Let's look at the portfolio and what are the top holdings in the portfolio. We have Amazon at about 15.16%, Alibaba at 10% plus, MasterCard, Google, Intuitive Surgical, Facebook, Visa, Adobe, PayPal, Microsoft, Autodesk, which is a new addition to the portfolio, Booking Holdings, and Boeing. And our cash is about 4.2. We added some cash over the weekend actually, because we want to take advantage of the cheaper prices available right now, and we will be deploying that cash very soon actually. So since the last update, I've been buying a lot. Although I had wished I waited a bit more to buy them at even cheaper prices, that's how it is. So it is what it is, and at least we got a chance to buy some of these high quality companies at much better prices. We are very confident about these companies. These are very high quality companies, and many of them will not even be affected by the coronavirus situation. Amazon, Alibaba may even boom during this period where there is more demand for e-commerce. MasterCard might take a short-term hit because less people will be spending, but on the flip side of the coin, more people will be spending online through e-commerce, so they may actually be using e-commerce payment methods like MasterCard more. More people will be watching YouTube because they are staying at home, so that's likely a good point for Google. If the economy goes into a recession, there may be less people advertising to Google's properties, but we think that will be short term. Intuitive Surgical is in the medical field, and in general, I think the medical field stands to benefit from more people seeking medical treatment. Although Intuitive Surgical focuses on the niche of robotic surgery, robotic surgery is itself expanding to cover even more general procedures and more types of treatment. So we still think Intuitive Surgical should still be able to do well through this crisis. Facebook, similar to the reasoning given for Google and YouTube, more people will probably be checking out Facebook during this period. In fact, I've been checking out Facebook a lot more, just for news updates and to find out what's happening in markets. There's been a constant avalanche of news available on what's going on, so more people want to stay connected through Facebook. Visa, we think for the reason given with MasterCard, they might see a short-term hit, but we do not think this will be long-term. Remember, all these companies have very strong competitive advantages, very strong economic moats, and they have a lot of capital. Even if the economy were to shut down for many months, these companies are very well capitalized, very well funded, and they will probably even grow stronger during a recession because they're able to do things that their competitors cannot do, and they may even acquire smaller companies who are unable to compete anymore with them during a difficult time in the economy. Adobe actually released its quarterly results recently, and there seems to be almost very little impact on Adobe's earnings, not just for the past quarter, but also in the current quarter. And even the CEO said he has seen very little impact so far. In fact, some of Adobe's offerings like Photoshop, Premiere Pro will probably be used. I mean, they can be used at home, so they may be even be used more during this period. So when people are working from home and using their software from wherever they are. PayPal might also see a hit like Visa and Master, but we think again that this will be short term. Microsoft, we wanted to take advantage of its strong positioning in the cloud, and we don't see the cloud market affected in the long term. Yes, some companies might tighten their belts a little if the economy worsens, might tighten their IT spending, but the imperative to move towards the cloud is a long-term mega trend, and we see more and more companies eventually following that trend. In fact, Microsoft also has some software solutions that may see increased uptake during this period where many people are working from home. It has Microsoft Teams, which is a collaboration tool. It has Skype. It also has other products like LinkedIn. People might want to stay connected professionally through LinkedIn. It has its games division. Microsoft did say that it will see some softening of its sales for its Windows division because less laptops will be sold, and so less laptops mean less licenses of Windows, which Microsoft owns. But again, we think that will be temporary. Autodesk is very similar to Adobe in that it offers software solutions for designers and creators, especially in the construction and engineering field. And Autodesk is going through a multi-year transition towards a subscription model. And Adobe has already completed, for the most part, that transition. But Autodesk, I think, is about 70-80% through that transition, but has not completed it yet so far. So once we see that Autodesk has completed that transition to a purely subscription model, we think the business will be even stronger. Most of its revenue will be recurring, and it's the leader in the field that it is in, and so we see it also gaining market share in a difficult time where competitors are unable to compete with the strength of a market leader. Booking Holdings and Boeing have been bad bets so far because travel has basically been decimated by the crisis. People are not traveling as much. Everyone is being advised to stay at home, practice social distancing, and so on. But again, over the next 2 or 3 years, we feel that travel will come back. People start traveling through planes again. Boeing will have got over its crisis, the 737 MAX crisis. Booking as a whole is still a leader in the hotel industry. It has a strong network effect in terms of having the most number of hotel bookings on its site, on its multiple properties. And it's moving into different genres like experiences as well. And also, I think in terms of making investments into other companies like the Uber of China and so on. And Boeing and Airbus are basically a duopoly. So if you have to buy planes, you have to buy from either one of them. And we think Boeing will come back strongly in the next few years. So that's how the portfolio is right now. We're still confident on the portfolio, and we think we're not sure how portfolio will do this year, whether it will be in positive territory this year, but over the long term the portfolio will definitely go up. In fact, if you're a follower of the portfolio and you're sitting on a fence on whether to copy this portfolio or not, now is one of the better times to copy this portfolio because prices are so cheap. And when you copy the portfolio, you'll be buying into these companies at those cheaper prices. The market could go up 10% tomorrow, or it could go down as well 10%. But over the long term, the market will definitely go up. And in the game we are playing, which is long-term investing, it's always better to buy companies at cheaper prices. So if you are deciding or still thinking about whether to copy this portfolio, now is one of those better times to start copying. So every month we also compare our portfolio's performance against some of the best long-term investors on the eToro platform, and there are some very good investors. There's even Warren Buffett's portfolio. You can see that many of these investors have lost copiers during this period, and that's a pity because this is the period when you should be investing actually, and this is a period when you should be investing more, adding to funds, averaging down, and that is the way really to succeed in long-term investing. Let's take a look at some of them in more depth because some of them are doing very well. Let's take a look at Spark Liang first. So Spark Liang is a long-term investor. He has about almost 59,000 plus followers. He lost about 214 copiers, which I mentioned is a pity. He's also gained about he has about nearly 3,000 copiers. Let's take a look at his stats. So Spark Liang has managed to limit the downside of the current market turmoil very well. He has only sustained a negative result of about 3% so far for March, and for the year he's up 4.6. One of the reasons why he's still up for the year is because he made a very shrewd bet in Tesla, which I talked about in my previous update. And so he bought Tesla when it was low and he sold it off when it was high, and that was a very shrewd move. And so that's one reason why his portfolio is still up for the year. And he's also been very heavy in cash, as you will see shortly. So that's one reason he's been able to limit his downside quite a lot. He manages between 2 million to 5 million under this portfolio. Let's take a look at the holdings in this portfolio. So his top position is Facebook. He has Apple. He has Alibaba, Shopify, JD, Disney, Starbucks. I think he has bought into Master and Visa over the last few days. He's been using up a lot more of his portfolio value as well. So I think it was just a few days ago actually when his portfolio, or at least the cash in his portfolio, was at about 50%, and so he's definitely been buying aggressively over the last few days. You can see his cash balance is now down to about 30%. So he's bought nearly 20% worth of stocks of his portfolio over the last few days. So he's definitely seeing opportunities in the market as well. So let's take a look at Warren Buffett's portfolio and how it has been doing. So Warren Buffett's portfolio is about in line with the general market. It's down about nearly 20% for the year. These stocks are Apple, Coke, Bank of America, and so on. Next, let's take a look at Webull, which is another very good investor on the eToro platform. So one girl has also not been spared from the market beating. Her portfolio is down 8.73% and down minus 5% plus for the year. These are her holdings: Mastercard, Shopify, Amazon, and you can take a look at the rest. Some good high quality companies, and she also has some small bets on some very promising companies, as you can see here. Let's also take a look at one of the most copied investors on the eToro platform, Yepe Kemonde. He has about 8,800 plus copiers. So his portfolio has taken a real beating in March. I think he was also long on oil, so that's one reason why his portfolio fell so much in March. He's down minus 14% plus. And for the year he's down minus 16% plus. So we are beating him both for March and for the year so far. As mentioned, he has about 8,800 plus copiers and he's managing about 5 million plus assets under his portfolio. So this is one reason why it's good to be a little diversified in who you copy as well. So you may not just want to copy one popular investor, you may want to copy several popular investors so that you're diversified across several portfolios. So the Fed has been taking some very aggressive action to calm the markets. It's cut rates now to 0 and is also launching a $700 billion quantitative easing program. This was done just yesterday, and so far the market has not responded well, but like I said, it's very hard to time the market. I have no clue whether the market will go up tomorrow or over the next week or even over the next month. But over the long term, I'm absolutely sure that the high quality companies we are buying will do well. In fact, since they're so high quality, since they're market leaders, they may even gain market share in a bad economy, and this might even make them even better long-term investments. So that's it for the March update. If you would like to be a patron and a supporter of the channel, jump over to our Patreon website and you can subscribe to one of our membership levels. You can also gain personal access through me and also my immediate thoughts and actions in the stock market through Discord at about $5 per month. We look forward to seeing you on the Discord chat. So if you like what you saw in this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not, so for future updates. And if you like the general platform, the eToro platform, and you like the ability to copy good investors, I suggest you join the eToro platform. You can use my link in the description tab, and you can even get an extra $50 to start trading. So thank you for watching. I hope you took away some good points from this video. I hope you stay with us on this journey, this long-term journey, and we'll see you in the next video.